Happy Sunday, guys. Allincrypto here, and today we are going to be delivering another daily cryptocurrency market update. And if you are new around here, every single day we release an update just like this one to help you stay up to date with the latest and greatest things happening within the crypto space and also market. So that's exactly what we're going to be doing in this video. We are going to start things off with a clip from CNBC, really confirming the fact that even the skeptics are now recognizing that Bitcoin and crypto is becoming institutionalized and it's finding its place in the kind of ecosystem of markets. So we're going to start things off there. Then I'm going to be talking about Google Trends and where crypto currently sits in relation to it. We're going to be looking at weekly fiat trade volume on Binance, which has seen a continuous decline. This obviously has quite a bit to do with the culling, probably a good word, of fiat on-ramps to Binance due to regulatory pressures. However, it's also representative of the kind of a environment the crypto space is in. It's in a very low interest. We've called it a paper bag in the wind and also a weak swimmer. There's a massive opportunity there because you want to be, and take this from someone who did exactly this in 2018, 2019, the person who's interested when no one else is. Because people will get very interested again, just like they did when your barber starts to talk to you about Dogecoin and everything in between. That will happen again, and you want to position before that, and that opportunity is here. Then we'll go over to some Bitcoin charts, and then we'll tie things up. We'll tie things off with a little bit of looking at the week ahead. It's a big week ahead. There's not a massive amount of data, but you've got UK CPI, you've got the Fed rate decision on Wednesday, you've got the Bank of Australia meeting on Tuesday, you've got the Bank of England rate decision on Thursday, and you've got things like US existing home sales, stuff like that, that we can all look at in the week ahead that will move markets. And the real question is, what's it going to do to the dollar? So really where I want to start things off is with this clip of top economist Mohammed saying Bitcoin and crypto is settling as part of the ecosystem. It's being institutionalized. This maturity process is good. It certainly is. And I want to explore what he's talking about here. The first half is him talking about inflation. And then the second half, of course, is Mohammed going into details on Bitcoin, some of his thoughts. And this is someone that met it with a lot of skepticism. And actually what we're seeing, I think the only skeptic that won't come around to Bitcoin is likely Warren Buffett. But then again, this guy still uses a flip phone. He didn't really invest in the sort of internet boom, so on and so forth. But let's go ahead and play the clip of Mohammed talking about Bitcoin and it being institutionalized.
Okay, in the meantime, you have other things that are taking place. Yesterday, Jamie Dimon was railing against the new capital requirements for banks, saying that that's going to slow things down in a big way, the amount of lending that banks can and will do as a result, and that will have an impact on the economy. Do you worry about that?
I do. I think Jamie is absolutely right in saying that higher capital requirements is not the answer to what happened in March and April. March and April was a problem of supervision, that the problem was identified, but nothing was done to force these banks to deal with the maturity mismatches. To then react and increase capital yet again is not the right policy response. And there was a risk that that will not just lower credit, but push it into the non-bank segment. And that segment is well less supervised and regulated.
I was going to ask you to move on to crypto, if you'd indulge me for a second, because we always have these crypto conversations. And there seems to be this thing happening. I don't know, Joe, we were talking about $25,000 with Bitcoin. Meanwhile, BlackRock and all of these folks, all the folks that we thought were never going to do this, are now doing it, and yet it's not moving at all.
Well, it's moving today.
Well, I mean, sure, 26. This is 26.
It was 4 when we started saying it wasn't going anywhere. 4,000.
Oh, well, okay. But the question is this now a risk on, a risk off thing? How do you even correlate this to what's happening with the Fed? Because for a long time you used to talk about crypto in regard to the Fed.
So I think crypto is settling as part of the ecosystem. I think people have recognized it is not the new global currency. People have also recognized it's not going to disappear tomorrow. It's becoming institutionalized. And I think, actually, if I were a crypto person, I think this maturation process is a good thing. Where it moves from day to day, I can't really comment on that.
I still think it's outperformed every asset in 1 year, 5 year, and 10 year.
Very, very interesting. You know, crypto, Bitcoin is becoming institutionalized. And it's very encouraging to see. And, you know, the fact that it is finding its place, isn't it interesting how institutions are all gearing up, all filing for ETFs, all, you know, looking to custody crypto, whatever it may be, at a point when retail feels like this. And talking about retail, what we're going to do now is we're going to dive over to Google searches. This is Google searches for crypto over the past 5 years. We've shown this continuously. And the reason that we show this continuously is because if you look at back here, which was, of course, 2020, 2019, 2018, this was the perfect time to be investing in cryptocurrency for the bull market. You are here again today, ladies and gentlemen. We can look at things like historic volatility, which is at bear market lows for crypto. We have continued to, and we have taken so much flack for being bullish in 2023, even though Bitcoin's price today is still 60% up. The stock market is at new all-time highs in certain areas. The only thing that hasn't played catch-up is altcoins. That will come. You've got to remember where crypto is right now. It's at a point where no one's really interested. No one's really playing the game. The market mobster shared something to do with weekly fiat trade volume on Binance, and talking about, you know, why are people not loading up? This is all trading pairs with fiat as a base quote asset in dollars. And you can see this just continues to dribble out. Of course, there's going to be an area of this that is going to be likely correlated with Binance actually culling off deposits into Binance through fiat on-ramps. However, this is just symptomatic of Google trends, volatility, where you are right now. This is the perfect time, ladies and gentlemen, to be a crypto investor and interested in the crypto space. You want to find out what I'm buying, where I'm buying, do consider becoming a Patreon. It's entirely up to you, but we remain very optimistic on the crypto space. Last Sunday, and I'll be going over it again in the Sunday's meeting today, we did a full dive into the macro, and then the micro, and then stocks, and we correlate everything together, which is something you simply don't see on YouTube. And we think we've got the picture very right. We'll see. You know, if people want to come and laugh at us in 6 months' time, a year's time, when, you know, if our crypto doesn't go to where we think it's going to go to, then that's totally fine. You know, we'll accept that. We'll accept that we're wrong, and we'll move on. But I think you're planting a seed right now as a crypto investor that's going to blossom into something you'd put into a vase. You know, it really is setting up. And Bitcoin is still adhering to that support. You've got lots of people instantly. We sold off here due to no volume, due to low volatility. We knew a big move was coming. It happened. It went the other way, which we said it could do. We were very much 50-50 round about here. And ultimately, you found that support and you're holding it. We think it's very similar to what you did over here. And actually, I like personally how this is setting up going into October, November. And we'll see. This could just be a nothing burger and roll. But I actually think it's likely to continue. Going into next week, you've got the Royal Bank of Australia's minutes, not really that first. Canadian CPI, kind of interested in that. Wednesday, we've got UK CPI, of course, as living in the UK. The UK is a complete and utter joke. I was about to go down that entire rabbit hole. I'm not going to anymore because we should probably do an entirely separate video on that. You've got US EIA crude oil inventories. That's going to be an interesting thing to watch. And then you've got the Fed rate decision. Right now, the probabilities, despite all the higher inflationary prints that we got last week, are that the Fed don't do a rate hike. They're not going to do a rate hike according to this. And I think that this is likely very accurate. Even though we thought the ECB wasn't going to do one, then you've got the Bank of England rate decision coming up. They're expected to raise again. That's very much in line. Inflation is an issue. This was very funny, I thought. This is from Lynn Alden. Great person to follow. And also, I do quite like the takes from Paul Krugman every now and then. I just don't think he's the one of the best. I think he had his time in economics and he's sort of, I'm not going to say past his sell-by date because he probably knows far more than I do. But anyway, we're getting off topic. Great news if we exclude most of the essentials of life, shelter, food, energy, and the second-hand ability to work, then price inflation is back down to 2% annual growth. I think that this is rightly scoffed at, but also not. We need to look at things on a deeper level. As human beings, our stubbornness and our opinionative nature is the ruin of us. You need to be radically open-minded when it comes to markets. And when somebody laughs at something, you can go, okay, you can see why they're laughing. It's quite funny. We can have a giggle out of it. But actually, he is showing something that's very interesting here, and that is that there is definitely deflation in certain areas, and it's continued. Obviously, food, energy, and shelter are a big one, and used cars. But this could be an underlying kind of factor into the broader macro picture that should be taken seriously. So I think that's all we've really got for you guys. You know, hopefully everyone's still with us watching. You know, we do very well. We compete massively against the larger channels with hundreds of thousands of followers that somehow only get a handful of viewers every couple of hundred viewers. We consistently bring in 2,000-3,000 and then up to 10, 15,000 on other videos. So massive appreciation to each and every one of you. Stay locked into ALLIncrypto. Do check out and support the website. We are an independent media outlet that plans to take over the game and cover those altcoins that you just simply don't see get the representation on other platforms. That's all I've got for you guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed the content. It is Sunday, so I'm off for a nice Sunday dinner that's going to consist of meat as we're doing this carnivore diet. And yeah, I'll catch you all in the next one, guys. Thanks for watching. See you in the next.